Hello everybody, it's Anecdotes and I'm back on the camera again one more time. Hi there, how the heck's it going? I was asked to give my opinion on the subject of spiritual healing. And this is probably something I've mentioned before, I can't remember, and I've got like about 800 or so videos out there. So I just thought I would just shoot off a few ideas about what I think about spiritual healing. The exercise itself seems to have some kind of effect. It does. Precisely what that effect is and how useful that is for the treatment of a medical condition, I don't know. I have, of course, here on YouTube seen videos of people who say that there have been very good quality studies done, and I will have to look into those studies and try and ascertain whether I feel that they are good enough for me to be able to make a form of weak truth claim based upon those studies. But what I will say is I myself have received spiritual healing on numerous occasions, and I would often get some very strange sensations as a result of the healing. Way back in Glastonbury 1994, I went to a spiritual healing tent, and a healer laid her hands on me, and I could feel a sense of something being dragged out of my arms, and a feeling of warmth and electricity entering into my arms when she was doing healing on my arms. So I actually had a sensation as a result of the exercise of the healing. Whether that, of course, has an effect upon the body, I don't know. But essentially, I felt something. Likewise, I was part of a spiritual healing outfit in Berkshire at one time, and the healer did a healing on me, starting at my feet. Just placed his hands on my feet and just sat there for about 10 minutes in contemplation, and I could feel this heat and electricity rising slowly and surely up my legs and then filling up the rest of my body. So it's another sensation which I received as a result of the exercise. One night when I was younger and I was hanging out in bars with my friends, this lady held my hand, and as she did so, I tried to send spiritual healing energy down my hand into her without telling her I was doing it. Shortly thereafter she said, "I know this is going to sound a bit strange, but whilst I was holding your hand, I felt something strange coming into me." So there was her, completely and utterly unprompted by myself, not knowing that I was even interested in spiritual healing or tarot or occultism, because at that time I was working as a salesman, and I had nothing about me, no pentacle rings or anything. I was dressed really boring and very scruffy. And that was me doing the spiritual healing exercise on her, and she reported something back to me without me telling her that I had done something. That's interesting. That in its own right is a strange experience which is tested upon someone else who was an unwitting and unwilling receiver, and she received a sensation and she reported it back to me. Another time, I did a spiritual healing on a lady who was a waitress. I was working at the time doing the cleaning in a restaurant, and I was doing the healing on the small of her back, and she said that she could feel something which feels like lightning and fire touching her back, coming out of my hands. All these things are strange anecdotes, and anecdotes themselves are not 100% proof, okay, because this has not been tested in a scientific environment. But these anecdotes, these experiences that I've had, have been enough reason for me to have a modicum of faith in forms of spiritual healing. I don't believe that any form of spiritual healing should be used as a replacement for regular medical attention, and regular medical attention is your first step if you've got an illness or a health problem. As far as do I personally get any other benefits from me having gone through the process of learning how to do healing work and the rest of it, well, I do suffer very badly with my digestive system. Okay, and sometimes I get nausea. And a lot of the time I can control it through basically meditating upon my digestive system and visualizing light and energy going down my legs and focusing on my feet. That seems to reduce the likelihood of me, being sick, throwing up, or indeed feeling nauseous, and it also helps with getting off to sleep at night. At another time in my life, when I was doing an awful lot of meditation, just lying on my bed, I tried an experiment, and I have not been able to repeat this reliably. but you know, it did happen on this one occasion. I was in deep meditation. I was looking at my legs. My legs were uncovered, and I visualized and tried to feel energy being drawn out of one leg and going into the other. And I also tried to visualize my right leg going pinker, more full of blood, and my left leg going paler. Now, after a few minutes of doing this, there was a difference in color between my left leg and my right leg. One was going slightly paler, as presumably I was having an effect upon it, and the other one was getting pinker. So there is, or there seems to be, a very strong mind-body connection, and meditation, those lower brainwave frequencies, as well as some form of psychosomatic interconnection involving visualization, concentration, your intention and attention and the rest of it, seems to have an effect. So for personal bodily control, this stuff has some merit, has some importance. Again, precisely what quality of importance, you know, there's still a lot of unanswered questions as far as I'm concerned. I often recommend to a lot of people that they read the books by Barbara Ann Brennan, who is an amazing author on spiritual healing, and her books, including Hands of Light and Light Emerging, are fascinating, and I would recommend that basically you get them, or if you can get a copy from one of your friends or down your local lending library, then basically have a quick look, because her stuff is quite amazing and insightful, and she's got a lot of experiences, personal experiences of a more precise nature than mine, which she can relate to you in her writings. So that's my impression on spiritual healing. Something happens, something essentially, for want of a better word, works, but I don't have so much faith in spiritual healing or faith healing or something of that nature to say it's a replacement for anything of a normal nature. I don't think it is at all. I think you still have to carry on taking your medication. You're still going to have to carry on going to see your doctor. You're still going to have to carry on doing everything which is right and fulfilling your responsibilities in terms of diet, nutrition, exercise, looking after yourself, basically, drinking the right quantities of water and not too much caffeine, which is of course something I'm very bad at, but you know, never mind. And just being good to yourself, as well as doing something else on the side, namely your spiritual healing, your meditation, going to see your spiritual healers in your local spiritualist church, and the rest of that. That's a brief outline upon my opinion on spiritual healing. Cheers.